hit into the net by Olivia Harris. Point to the Cavaliers. Cabrini trailing Otterbein 8-6 in this second set. Otterbein up 1-0 here in the first round of the OAC tournament. Are you in channel 1 or are you in channel 2? Well, I think I know we've been having some technical difficulties with the audio feed tonight. Hopefully you all can hear how things sound so far. Otterbein currently in a good position, up 1-0 over the Cabrini Cavaliers, and in this set they lead 10-6. So things appearing well on their way to Otterbein having a good night in this first round of the NCAA tournament. Lowenkamp serving for the Cardinals. The ball just chucked across by Andrea Miller, and Cabrini was not expecting that one. Point for the Cardinals. Otterbein 11, Cabrini 6 here in the second set. Lowenkamp with the serve. And that one is just dinked across by Cabrini's Ashley Shannon. 11-7 Otterbein. So I know we've been having some audio issues with being able to hear me so far tonight. I'll try and hit upon some of the salient things that we've had happen as we see the serve go long. Emily Shannon hitting that one beyond the end line. So Otterbein leading 12-7 in this second set. The Cardinals won the first set 25-13. And so far really have not seemed to have to fight too hard against this Cabrini team as Hillary Sterrett tries to drive one away, but it's dug out nicely by Cabrini's Kristen Betterman. Sterrett with the softer touch, and this will be successful, as unable to do anything with it is Chelsea Jones. Otterbein 13, Cabrini 7. All right, so a timeout called by Cabrini. Let's go over some of the things I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, but that you weren't able to hear, that I was just, I guess, saying for my help. Cabrini comes in with a record of 29-6. They were 11-0 in the regular season in the Colonial States Athletic Conference. Otterbein is in the midst of their best season ever. 29-3 in the regular season, which is the most wins that an Otterbein team has put up. They were 8-1 in the Ohio Athletic Conference. That was good for a share of the regular season title with Ohio Northern. Otterbein then was able to sweep Ohio Northern in straight sets in the OAC Tournament Championship to earn the automatic bid. And most assuredly, that is what helped secure this regional hosting opportunity for them, which you have to consider a prime opportunity for them if they hope to advance to the finals in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Otterbein had 5 players earn all OAC honors, which was a program best. That includes Player of the Year Morgan Lowenkamp, who received that recognition with a unanimous vote. She's the first player in Otterbein history to be named Player of the Year for volleyball. Also on the first team were Hadley Sterrett and Andrea Miller. Honorable mentions to Marie Thornton and Alana King-Mendenhall. Back to action. King-Mendenhall hits it across, but then that's pounded back the other way by Morgan Colito. Otterbein's lead at 13-8 here in the second set. Colito to serve for Cabrini. She's a freshman out of Wrightstown, Pennsylvania. Shuck sets. Hadley Sterrett with the big hit, blocked. And returned. King-Mendenhall just sort of muscles it back, and Shuck will get it over the net for the Cardinals. Shuck with another nice save. Andrea Miller. And Cabrini will get the point. 13-9 Otterbein here in set number 2. Colorado's serve. Almost hit by two players. Harris was the one that dug it out. Starrett with the deep hit across the net. Judkins. Dug out by Leone. Thornton. And she'll earn Otterbein the point as she drops that one in front of Cabrini's Kristen Betterman. Otterbein 14, Cabrini 9 in the second set. In addition to all those honors for Otterbein's players, it'd be remiss to not mention that Coach Monica Wright was named Coach of the Year in the OAC, and hard to argue with that vote considering the success her team has had this season. Program best 29 wins, and first time, even though it was a share, first time winning the OAC regular season title. Big hit by Emily Schuck gets the point. Otterbein 15, Cabrini 10. King Mendenhall checks out as Lowenkamp returns to the court. Ashlyn Leone with the serve. Otterbein gets the point again. Otterbein 16-10 here in the second set. Colorado sets it up. There's Starrett with the big hit that's blocked. Second touch and the third across. Leone, Lowenkamp, and Schuck with the clearance, so to speak. Andrea Miller now gets it across for Otterbein. Miller sets. Thornton with the spike, but it's dug out. A nice long series here with both teams. Hadley Starrett tries to dink it over, but it's returned back. Now chucked over by Miller. Starrett, Lowenkamp, and Schuck with the spike and the kill. So a long set of volleying there by both these teams as that point took a lot of touches for Otterbein to earn their 17th point of the second set. Leone with the serve. Judkins gets it across. Starrett, Leone, and unfortunately for Otterbein, Marie Thornton can't get it across. But a valiant effort that time by Otterbein to try and salvage a point that it didn't look like they were going to be able to get after the first touch. Starrett, Miller, Schuck, dug out by Cabrini. And they will get the point as the kill by Anne-Marie Jones earns the 12th point of this set for the Cavaliers. They trail Otterbein 17-12. Starrett. And that one's just stuffed back the other direction. And a nice little celebration by Kaylee Plazinski. Otterbein will call timeout as a little bit of a run here by the Cavaliers. 17-13 though, Otterbein with the lead in the second set. They lead 1-0. The winner will advance to play Ohio Northern tomorrow at 5 p.m. That will follow the Juniata Wittenberg semifinal at 2:30. It is a busy weekend in athletics here at Otterbein, as at Memorial Stadium they will have the men's soccer NCAA tournament first and second rounds. Begins with a matchup between Kenyon and Transylvania, and then Otterbein, the host, will play Medaille at 5 p.m. I'm Mark Pfeiffer here with you on Otterbein Sports on TNC Media. This is the NCAA Division III Volleyball Championships first round. The matchup between Otterbein University and Cabrini University out of Radnor, Pennsylvania. Both schools of about the same size. A little bit of an edge, at least in the reported enrollment numbers for Cabrini, but both schools relatively the same. Big hit there for Otterbein as they get the point and go up 18-13. Thornton will check out. Hillary Sterrett will check in and also take the serve. Bad first hit that time, sort of an unforced error by Cabrini's Colito, and Otterbein leads 19-13. Hillary Sterrett's serve is long, and Cabrini trying to hang tough here. They lost the first set 25-13 to the Cardinals. Nice save there by Leone and Miller to get that one over. And then the block on the front line is shared by Morgan Lowenkamp and Andrea Miller. Olivia Harris returns to the floor as Emily Schuck goes out. Harris will serve. Otterbein leads 20-14 in the second set. The ball set and hit across. Harris, Leone, and Sterrett. And again, it just looks a little bit as though Cabrini is out of position there as Sterrett gets the kill. Otterbein 21, Cabrini 14. And a fortunate go of things for the Cardinals as Harris's serve clips the top of the net and catches everyone out of sorts on the Cabrini side. Ball set and hit over, but not anywhere close to inbounds there by Kaylee Plazinski, and Otterbein 2 points away from taking this second set. Harris's serve. Big hit and the kill. Credit that one to Anne-Marie Jones, a senior from Advanced North Carolina. Otterbein 23, Cabrini 15 here in the second set. Miller sets it up for Lowenkamp. That one's dug out. And then the block on the other side by Lowenkamp and Sterrett, a familiar sight for the Otterbein team in 2017. Lowenkamp will serve for the match, or excuse me, for the set. Hadley Sterrett gets the kill, and Otterbein handily wins set number 2, 25-15, after winning the first one 25-13. So far so good for Otterbein as they're up 2 sets to none. The teams will take a short break before going out for the third one. And Otterbein looking like they are well on their way, eyeing what you have to imagine was an attractive potential semifinal regional showdown, and would be if Otterbein advances, as they would play Ohio Northern, a team also that they're very familiar with from their conference and defeated twice this season. Most convincingly just a week ago when they played them for the OAC tournament title here in the Rike Center. That was a 3 sets to none win. And you would think that certainly would give them plenty of confidence heading into that match tomorrow. But let's not get ahead of ourselves just yet. Otterbein still with one more set to win in this one before they can think about tomorrow night. Some of the stats for Otterbein, no surprise here in that Hadley Sterrett leads the team with 11 kills. In fact, she leads all players in the match with 11 kills and no errors. So everything going just about as well as you would hope for her. 6 kills for Marie Thornton, and then a few other players with multiple kills. Morgan Lowenkamp, Emily Schuck, each with 3, and Alana King-Mendenhall with 2. 1 kill for Andrea Miller. On the other side, Steph Judkins with 7 kills to lead the way for them. But her percentage not particularly good so far. 7 kills, 5 errors, 24 touch attempts, just an 8.3%. Not the sort of numbers you would hope to see, certainly on this side of things in such a critical game. I'm Mark Pfeiffer with you here from the Rike Center tonight as Otterbein and Cabrini are in this first round NCAA Division III matchup. The winner gets Ohio Northern tomorrow at 5 p.m. In the other semifinal, you will have Wittenberg and Juniata. That will be at 2:30 tomorrow afternoon here in the Rike Center. So you do have the opportunity, if you wanted to take in some men's soccer and volleyball, to catch both of those tomorrow. But if you want to see Otterbein play in both, assuming the Cardinals advance here, you are going to have to pick your poison because both of them would play at 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Thanks for watching Otterbein Sports on TNC Media, and thanks to our crew with back in the control room here at the Rike Center, Jashawn Boswell and Bailey Ross, and on camera, Sydney Peters, Kira Hackman, and Shalisha Petit-D. Otterbein will serve to start the third set. Leading 2-0. They are just 25 points away from cruising to a semifinal matchup with Ohio Northern tomorrow. Harris, Miller, and Starrett dug out by Cabrini. Judkins. Leone saves it. King Mendenhall, and there's Starrett again to clear. Big block by King Mendenhall and Thornton. And there's King Mendenhall again, and that will be enough to earn the point. And Otterbein up 1-0 to start this third set. Alana King Mendenhall again made the honorable mentions in the OAC, one of 5 players to earn all conference honors this year. Leone digs it out, set by Miller. Thornton gets it over. Now King Mendenhall tries to jam it back the other way, but a little strong with that one. Cabrini to serve. Nice crowd on hand tonight at the Rike Center. Looks like a lot of the other fellow athletes here have turned out. The men's soccer team not in action today, but they'll begin play tomorrow versus Madai. King Mendenhall with the big hit is tipped at the front. And the point to the Cardinals. Emily Shuck checks in. Olivia Harris will check out as Hadley Starrett to serve. Judkin gets it over. Dug out by Miller. Set up by Leone. And Starrett hits it into the net a bit, but it does get over. Now Leone, Miller, Thornton with the big hit, but it's out. 2-2 in the third set between Otterbein and Cabrini. The Cardinals with a big 2-0 lead in the set department. But as we saw in the previous match, DePaul looked like things weren't going to go so well for them, and that they might get swept, and then they fought that one back all the way to a 5-set match that had to be taken to 17-15 for Ohio Northern to come away with the win and advancement. Cabrini gets the point there, takes the lead, and I believe this is the first time they've been ahead on the scoreboard this evening. They're up 3-2. Shuck gets it over, now takes it again. Thornton gets it across. And just a little miscommunication there between Leone and Hadley Starrett, as both of them looked like they might have been trying to go for it, and both sort of backed off a little bit. 4-2 Cabrini in set number 3. And there's again, not necessarily the kind of serve you would purposefully do, but turns out to go the way of Ashley Shannon as she clips the net, and it drops in for the point. Shannon serve again, taken by Starrett. Set by Miller. Starrett with the kill. Cabrini 5, Otterbein 3. Morgan Lowenkamp re-enters as King Mendenhall comes out. Ashlyn Leone back to serve. And they're just a bad first touch by the Cavaliers. Otterbein earns the point and is down 5-4. Leone, the libero for Otterbein, serving. She's a sophomore from nearby, went to high school at Dublin Scioto. Set, and Leone saves it. Hadley Starrett, and then Lowenkamp gets it across. Blocked that time by Thornton and Lowenkamp, and Otterbein's squared things all up at 5 here in the third set. Leone with the serve. Otterbein with 3 points in a row. And Lowenkamp with the kill. Otterbein 6, Cabrini 5. Leone on a bit of a roll serving here. Otterbein taking a lead after Cabrini with their largest of the night in any of these sets. Judkins hits it into that wall of Lowenkamp and Shuck, and Otterbein again with the point. 7-5 the Cardinals in the third set. Leone with a deep serve, but this one just a little too long, and Cabrini will get the point as the crowd in front of me here groans a little bit, thinking that maybe that caught the line, but the official right on it. So Cabrini, trailing 7-6, will serve. Thornton hits it wide, and Cabrini evens it up at 7. Otterbein leads 2-0 here in this first round NCAA tournament matchup. And there's a kill for Lowenkamp, something very familiar to her as she led the OAC in total kills this season, on her way to being the unanimous OAC Player of the Year. Hillary Starrett to serve for Otterbein. Dug out by Hadley Starrett. Emily Shuck hits it over. Andrea Miller tries to find an empty spot, but it is touched and hit over by Cabrini, even though they do put this one out. Otterbein 9, Cabrini 7 in the third set. For Otterbein, it's just a matter of counting the number of points remaining till they can call this one a night. And that will be 15 as they lead 10-7 in this one, 15 points away from a straight sets win in this first round matchup. Hillary Starrett serves. Collado with the spike, but dug out. Miller goes up, and she's going to hit it out as she tried to get it past Morgan Collado there on that front line. Cabrini trails Otterbein 10-8 in the third set. And there will be an easy point for the Cardinals as Kaylee Plazinski's serve is long. Olivia Harris returns to the floor, and she will have the serve for Otterbein. Kill for Anne-Marie Jones, and Cabrini now down 11-9 to Otterbein in the third set. This is the 8th NCAA appearance for the Cavaliers. Otterbein here for the 5th time, and hoping to basically, well, to get out of town. They've got 3 potential matches here in Westerville, and if they can emerge from those, they will go to Grand Rapids, Michigan next week for the NCAA finals. Served by Jones is long. Otterbein 12, Cabrini 10. Lowenkamp to serve now for Otterbein. Also out there Miller, King Mendenhall, both Starretts, and Harris. Collado gets it across, set up by Miller. Lowenkamp hits it over. And this one is just a little wide, it looks like, by Lauren Kosha for Cabrini, and Otterbein now 12 points away from a straight sets win tonight. Lowenkamp, Miller, Sterrett blocked. Harris to Miller, and then Harris gets it over. Harris, Miller. Harris digs that one out. Sterrett tries to find a soft spot in that defense. Miller, King Mendenhall, and clearly out as she hits the foot of the official right there, just beyond the inbounds play. 13-11 Otterbein in the third set. Collado serving. King Mendenhall, Miller, Sterrett blocked. And a nice try by Emily Shannon to save that one, but Otterbein gets the point. The Cardinals now 11 points away from finishing this one off. Andrea Miller serving. Of course, her big claim to fame this year is leading the nation in assists. Thornton, Miller, Sterrett, point Otterbein. So it'll be a countdown from 10 as Otterbein just that many points away from winning this one. Miller, Thornton, blocked, but cleared. Miller, King Mendenhall. Cabrini defends. The King Mendenhall is there to block Ashley Shannon, and Otterbein now up 16-11. Miller serves. And just one of those fortunate situations as it glances off the top of the net and throws off everybody's timing. Cabrini takes a timeout. They're down 17-11 here in the third set. And Otterbein looking like it's going to be a happy night in Westerville for the host team. Just 8 points away from finishing this one off. Otterbein won the first set 25-13 and the second set 25-15. They haven't been pushed all that hard. That was not the same for their conference foe, Ohio Northern, in the match that preceded this one. Ohio Northern was challenged pretty tightly by DePauw in the first two sets, but the Polar Bears were able to claim both of those. DePauw clawed their way back, won the next two, and in the fifth set, Ohio Northern had to go to the 17-15 mark to actually win it and advance to play the winner of this match tomorrow at 5 p.m. Right now it looks like another tilt between OAC teams. So there'll be some extra stuff on the line between the schools. Ohio Northern, sort of the traditional power in the OAC, and Otterbein perhaps feeling a bit like, I don't want to say that they have something to prove because they've certainly had their share of success, but you've got a team in Ohio Northern that had been ranked ahead of them in the national polls really for the entire season. And Otterbein had been able to beat them not only in the regular season, but then also for the OAC tournament title. As we come back to action, Miller's serve is shanked on that first touch, and the Cardinals now 7 points away from heading to the second round. King Mendenhall gets it across. Now she'll set this one. Miller, Sterrett, and they say it's in. Otterbein 19. Oh, they've been overruled, as initially it was signaled as in, but they're going to give that one to Cabrini. So 18-12 Otterbein here in the third set. Betterman's serve, handled by Leone. Miller and then King Mendenhall. She'll get the point. Just finding that vulnerable area where Cabrini is not able to defend, and Otterbein 6 points away from cruising to a straight sets win. Sterrett serves. That one's going to be long. A hit a little too strong by Kaylee Plazinski. Otterbein 20, Cabrini 12. Starrett serve. And again, not able to handle that first touch very well by Emily Shannon, and Cabrini feeling surely like they're in quicksand at this point, as it seems pretty apparent where this one's headed. The set, Judkins with the spike, dug out by Leone, set by Miller. Spike and the kill for Emily Schuck. Otterbein 22, Cabrini 12. Starrett serve, set up by Shannon. Soft touch across, but blocked back. Leone, Thornton, blocked at the front line. That is going to be cleared though. King Mendenhall looking for a soft hit across, but it's returned. Hadley Starrett with a big hit, but that one goes into the net. Otterbein 22, Cabrini 13 in the third set. Cardinals just 3 points away from advancing to the second round of the NCAA tournament. Shannon with the serve, and that one kind of splits the difference between Starrett and Leone toward the back. Shannon serving again. Leone, Miller, and Starrett would just bump it across. Jones misses it on the front line for Cabrini. Otterbein 23, Cabrini 14. Ashlyn Leone serving. Otterbein 2 points away from the win. Set by Shannon. That one's stuffed by Thornton and Lowenkamp. Leone, Miller, Thornton, point Otterbein. Match point for the Cardinals as the host fans are on their feet, looking forward to getting to the second round and facing Ohio Northern. Leone's serve is returned, blocked by Schuck, but into the net. So Cabrini survives for at least a little bit longer. Judkins with the serve. Leone, Miller, Starrett, out. Well, if they can run off 8 more, they'll make this interesting, but right now Otterbein just needs 1 point to get the win here tonight. Leone, Miller, hit across by Lowenkamp, but it's returned. Leone, Thornton, and that front line holding stout for Cabrini. They get the point. 24-17, and the crowd maybe not uneasy, but just a little antsy, waiting to see this one ended. Schuck, Miller, Schuck, and that'll do it. Otterbein wins in straight sets in the first round of this NCAA tournament match. 25-13, 25-15, 25-17, and really 3 of the 4 matches here today were pretty convincing wins for the teams that did it. Of course, you've got the #1 team in the nation in Wittenberg, who cruised to a 3-0 win over Penn State Barron. They will play Juniata tomorrow at 2:30 in one of the semifinals. But sort of the marquee attraction, certainly for the host school, but also just for the fact that it's a conference rematch, Otterbein and Ohio Northern. They will face off at 5 p.m. tomorrow. The second of 2 matches, and certainly one that I think a lot of people were potentially looking forward to when the brackets were announced on Monday. It's hard to say Otterbein wouldn't have enjoyed that, and they will get what I think a lot of these players and probably the coaching staff would have been interested in. It's a team they've seen twice already this season. In fact, a week exactly after defeating them in straight sets in the OAC tournament, Otterbein gets another crack to ruin the year for this Ohio Northern team. So to wrap things up, as we see a little bit of a ceremony for these teams at the end of this one, I want to say thank you to the student crew here at Otterbein TV and TNC Media. On camera, Kira Hackman, Sydney Peters, and Shalisha Petit D. And in our makeshift control room in the office at the Rike Center, Bailey Ross and Jashawn Boswell helping to get this one out there to all of you this evening. I want to remind you that we will have the semifinal match tomorrow afternoon. That will be at 5 p.m. between Otterbein and Ohio Northern. If you're an Otterbein sports fan, you do have a little bit of a tough call to make, because you'll have the Otterbein men's soccer team playing in the first round against Medaille College. That game is at Memorial Stadium, while over here in the Rike Center, Otterbein and Ohio Northern will match up. So the men's soccer game will be on 97.5 WOBN. You can also stream that live on WOBN.net. So perhaps maybe you come to the volleyball match, you listen to the soccer match on the radio via the internet, or if you're not able to make it here, you figure out some way. Maybe you mute me and you listen to soccer while you watch volleyball. Whatever the case, a big weekend in Otterbein sports will continue for this women's volleyball team as they defeat Cabrini in straight sets, 25-13, 25-15, 25-17. That'll do it for me. Thanks for watching Otterbein Sports on TNC Media. We'll be back tomorrow night at 5 with the semifinal matchup between the Polar Bears and the Cardinals.